Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. Today our group would like to present to you our Hirarc report for the Polymer Lab. First of all, my name is Chairul from RES 2036A and I would like to present the introduction for this Hirarc report. The objectives of this Hirarc report is to differentiate between the various kinds of risks that may exist in the lab, to recognize the major occupational hazard categories and the potential health risks that particular workplace hazards provide, make recommendations for removing or minimizing the risks associated with the identified hazards after conducting an evaluation and risk assessment, to fulfill legal obligations and uphold a responsible approach to safety management. Compliance with laws, regulations, and standards is crucial. What is that you want to achieve by doing this assignment? First, workplace safety. Second, compliance with regulations. Third, increased efficiency. What is the definition of Hirarc and JSA? JSA, also known as Job Safety Analysis, it entails a step-by-step examination of certain occupational tasks in order to spot potential risks and create efficient countermeasures. JSA assists businesses in understanding the risks involved with each phase and putting appropriate safeguards in place by breaking down processes. Hirarc, also known as Hazard Identification, Risk Assessment and Risk Control, is a two-rule risk assessment technique that addresses every aspect of risk management. It entails identifying risks, evaluating the dangers they may pose, and putting control mechanisms in place to remove or lower those risks. What are the advantages of having Hirarc? First, comprehensive hazard identification. Second, continuous improvement. Third, cost savings. Fourth, risk prioritization. And fifth, increasing productivity. What do we need to do JSA or Hirarc? It ensures workplace safety, adherence to the rules, and lower hazards. JSA or Hirarc are required. JSA or Hirarc assists in establishing a secure workplace, prevention of accidents, and minimizing diseases or injuries by methodically identifying hazards, evaluating risks, and putting control mechanisms into place. It also encourages employee participation and awareness, makes it easy to organize tasks effectively, provides focused training, and allows for incident investigation and learning, all of which contribute to ongoing safety practice improvement and a proactive safety culture within organizations.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nur Arzwani. I will talk about table 1, which is task or activity table. The first task is handling chemical powders. The hazard is chemical. The probable cause is damage to the skin, lungs, and eyes. The existing risk controls are switch off the fan, wear glove, mask, or other protective device to reduce contact with the chemicals. So the recommended control measures is to conduct a risk assessment before carrying out any work with chemicals. Then use the PE provided properly and ensure all relevant safe work procedures are in place. Next work is operating two roll mill. The hazard is machine. The risk is crush injuries of the fingertip. The existing risk controls are making sure that there is nothing stuck in them. Check to see which way the rollers are turning by looking at the direction switch. Next, adjust the hand wheel screw counterclockwise to close the rollers together. We recommended to require a personal protective equipment. Use warning devices or make the danger manifest. Use warning signs and use safe working practice and procedures. Next, handling an oven. The harm is the machine itself. The risk is explosion could occur. The existing risk controls is do not locate combustible or explosive materials inside. We can control it by practice safety precautions and make sure there is a fire extinguisher around. The fourth task is handling hot press. The hazard is temperature and it can cause skin burning. So we can use glove or mitt to handle the equipment. We are recommended to use proper personal protective equipment (PPE) to hold hot items and beware of other people when handling hot materials. Next work activity is carrying the mold. The hazard is the mold. Can cause the mold to fall down or could potentially cause injury to feet. and we can control it by handling the mold with care. Hence, we can use safety footwear such as boots. The last work activity is walking on the slippery floor. The hazard is the floor. It may lead to broken arms and cause bruised legs. The control is we can use a dry mop on wet floors to reduce floor drying time. And we recommended to wear covered shoes with proper soles and ensure wet floor signs are always used.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurul Anisa binti Ramli, and today I will presenting about likelihood and severity of hazard. So first, I will presenting about the ranking likelihood of an occurrence. So as we know, we have 5 type of likelihood, and each likelihood have their own ranking. So for first ranking, the likelihood is inconceivable. The example is practically impossible and has never occurred. And then for second ranking, the likelihood is remote, and the example has not been known to occur after many years. And then third ranking, the likelihood is conceivable. The example is might be occur at some times in the future. And for fourth ranking, the likelihood is possible, and the example has a good chance of occurring, and is not unusual. So for the last ranking, the likelihood is most likely, and the example is the most likely result of the hazard or event being realized. Next, we have 6 work of activity, and I will presenting the likelihood for each work activity, and their rating depends on their hazard. So for first work of activity is handling chemical powders. The hazard is chemical, the likelihood is conceivable, and the rating is 3. Second is operating 2 roll mill. The hazard is machine, the likelihood is remote, the rating is 2. Next is handling an oven. The hazard is machine, the likelihood is conceivable, the rating is also 3. And then next is handling hot press. The hazard is machine, the likelihood is possible, the rating is 4. And then carrying the mold. The hazard is mold, the likelihood is possible, the rating is 4. And then the last one is walking on the slippery floor. So the hazard is floor, the likelihood is most likely, the rating is 5. Now I will presenting about the ranking severity of hazard. It also have 5 severity, and each severity have their own ranking. So for first ranking, the severity is negligible, and the example is minor abrasion, bruises, cuts, first aid type injury. And then for second ranking, the severity is minor. The example is disabling but not permanent injury. And for the third ranking, the severity is major. For example is non-fatal injury, permanent disability. And then for fourth ranking, the severity is fatal. The example is approximately 1 single fatality, major property damage if hazard is realized. And then for last ranking, which is fifth ranking, the severity is catastrophic. The example is numerous fatalities, irrecoverable property damage, and productivity. Next, I will presenting the severity of our work activity. We have 6 of work activity that occur hazard, and we rating the severity of each work. For first, handling chemical powders, the hazard is chemical, the severity is major, and the rating is 3. Second is operating 2 roll mill. The hazard is machine, the severity is major, the rating is also 3. And then third is handling an oven. The hazard is machine, the severity is fatal, the rating is 4. Fourth is handling hot press. The hazard is machine, the severity is major, and the rating is 3. Next is carrying the mold. The hazard is small, the severity is negligible, and the rating is 1. And then the last one is walking on the slippery floor. The hazard is floor, the severity is negligible, and the rating is 1. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Hidayat Nabila binti Muhammad Sanusi. So in my part, I will explain about table 4, which is risk metric table. The vertical one is likelihood or probability values, and the horizontal ones is severity or consequence values. So there are 3 colors, which is green, yellow, and red. What does the colors mean? This will be explained in the next slide. Next, table 5 is risk value. So the differences colors mean risk level. The red is high, the yellow is medium, and the green is low. The action of each this level are different. The high is we should stop the activity, while in medium we can continue the activity and add reasonable variables controls. The low, we can continue the activity also, and don't forget to check regularly.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Putri Nokirnisa binti Zahari. I'm from class RES 203 6E. Would like to present table 6, which is job or task list table. As we can see here, for the first task is handling chemical powders. For risk analysis for this task, likelihood is 3, severity is 3, and the risk value is 9. That in medium rank. Next, the second task is operating 2 roll mill. The risk analysis for this task, likelihood is 2, severity is 3, and the risk value is 6. That also in medium rank. Next, the third task is handling an oven. As we can see here, for the risk analysis for this task, likelihood is 3, severity is 4, and the risk value is 12. That is in medium rank. Next task is handling hot press. For this task, the risk analysis likelihood is 4, severity is 3, and the risk value is 12. That also in medium rank. Next, the task is carrying the mold. The risk analysis for likelihood is 4, severity is 1, and the risk value is 4, which is in low rank. Lastly, the task is walking on the slippery floor. The risk analysis for likelihood is 5, severity is 1, and the risk value is 5, which also in low rank. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Siti Amin Najah binti Hirarc. For my part, I will present for table 7, categorize and rank of tasks. For the rank number 1 is handling hot press. The task is at high risk. It need to use proper personal protective equipment such as heat resistant gloves and aprons to safely handle hot items. Be mindful of the presence of others and exercise caution when handling hot materials to ensure their safety as well. Second is handling an oven. The task is also at high risk because the risk value is 12. Practice safety precautions such as following established safety procedures, using equipment correctly, and maintaining a clean and organized work area to minimize hazard. Ensure that a fire extinguisher is readily available and easily accessible in case of any fire emergencies. Regularly inspect and maintain the fire extinguisher to ensure its effectiveness. Number 3 is handling chemical powder. The risk value is 9. The task is at medium-high risk. By using provide PPE correctly and implementing comprehensive safe work procedures, individuals can significantly reduce the risk associated with working with the chemical. This proactive approach promotes a safe and healthy workplace for everyone involved while minimizing the potential for harm and ensuring regulator compliance. The rank that at number 4 is operating two-roll mill. The task is at medium risk. It requiring the use of personal protective equipment, employing warning devices or methods, utilizing warning signs, and following safe working practice and procedures are all crucial elements for maintaining a safe and secure work environment. By integrating these measures into daily operation, individuals can minimize the potential for harm, enhance situation awareness, and foster a culture of safety. Number 5 is walking on slippery floor. The task is at medium risk. Wearing covered shoes with proper soles and using wet floor sign are essential safety measures that contribute to maintaining a secure work environment. By adopting this practice, individuals can protect themselves and others from potential incidents and injuries, promoting a culture of safety and well-being. And lastly is carrying the mold. The task is at low risk. Using safety footwear such as boots is an important precautionary measure to ensure personal safety and protection in work environments where food-related hazards are present. By wearing appropriate safety boots, individuals can significantly reduce the risk of foot injuries, enhance stability, and maintain a safer work environment. For conclusion, we can identify the handling of hot press as the most concerned task. It has been assigned a risk value of 12, indicating the highest level of risk among all tasks. This clearly indicates that it is a high-risk activity. It is imperative that the person is charged take immediate steps to control the hazard associated with this task. Workers should implement safety control measures, including the proper use of personal protective equipment (PPE), such as heat-resistant gloves and apron, to safely handle hot items. Additionally, they should be aware of the presence of others and exercise caution when working with hot materials to ensure the safety for everyone involved.
Okay, so for the last step, it is about SOP or Safe Operating Procedure. We have 3 of SOP here. Firstly, there are workers always wear PPE or personal protective equipment. And the second one is make sure the workplace were in a well-ventilated area. And lastly, take care about hand hygiene by wash hand thoroughly with soap and water after handling with the chemicals.